And I said, what if I created a course? That might be fun because I've done it for so long. I can do this stuff with my eyes closed. But then again, there was the fear. What goes into this course? What am I writing about? What am I teaching them? Like,
Hey guys, it's Dr. Sonia here with Jump First. I've helped hundreds of creative entrepreneurs and business owners to take back their free time, generate additional revenue, and celebrate while living that work from anywhere lifestyle through creating online courses in digital education. So I'm super excited that you guys are here. Say it with me. Done is better than perfect. Master one thing at a time. Practice makes better. And this has to work. Right? Let's get it. Hello, party peeps. What is up? It's Dr. Sonia here, and I am here with a very, very special guest. Her name is Shamikas R. Do you want to stay anonymous, Shiemicka, or can I use your last name?
you can use my name. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Perfect. So it's Shamikas Richardson, and Shamika was, or is, excuse me, because once you join the Jump First family, you are family forever. So Shamika is inside of CYOC, Create Your Own Course. And as many of you guys know, probably by now, we are in the process of rebranding CYOC. So I wanted to bring on some of our current students and really just, I guess, in my mind, you guys really aren't students though. You guys are creators, you're movers, you're shakers, like you're doing it. And so I just really wanted people to hear about what your experience has been, like how you got it started, what made you get started, and then where we are now. So let's start out with, tell us a little bit more, Shamikas, about what it is that you do and what brought you to wanting to create a course.
Great, perfect. So I am a pageant coach. I've been a pageant coach for a little bit over 20 years, doing one-on-one pageant coaching. And I stepped away from it a little bit and I started directing a pageant system for about 10 years. And when I say I stepped away from it, I didn't fully step away from it, just a little bit, right? So I wasn't really coaching young women from other competition. I was more so just coaching women who were competing in my competition, preparing them for the next level. But then I decided after those 10 years of me putting on this competition, I decided that I wanted to go back to pageant coaching, but I had a little bit of fear. And to be transparent and honest, what my fear was I stepped away. I was doing it for a long time. I've been coaching a lot of girls. I probably have like 1,000 on my roster, but a lot of them has now transformed to being coaches. And in that same breath, I felt like, do I still have it? Am I still able to do this the way that I did it before? I'm older now, there's the younger breeds coming up. And I just felt that little bit of, uncomfortability. I wasn't really sure. So in wanting to come back to it, I said, you know what, maybe I want to do something different. Did I want to let go of the one-on-ones? No, because I feel like for me, it's very personal, right? So I don't want to do as many one-on-ones as I used to, because I used to do one-on-ones starting at like 8 in the morning until 2 a.m. all the way through, and it was only on the weekends, right? So it took away a lot of my family time. And I decided that I wanted to do something a little bit different, and what was I going to do and how was I going to do that? And I said, what if I created a course? That might be fun because I've done it for so long. I can do this stuff with my eyes closed. But then again, there was the fear. What goes into this course? What am I writing about? What am I teaching them? Like, it's so different when you're one-on-one because you're not documenting all of this, right? You're only documenting feedback that you're given and so forth. So I never really had any framework, right? Or written plan. And that's when I decided that I wanted to do a course online. So I started to look up courses online. I watched a lot of master classes, and Dr. Sonia rose to the occasion. She was my girl.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
For me, it was all about personality for me. And I wanted someone that's going to really, bring that out and make me do the things that I need to do, because I couldn't coach with someone who's going to let me fall in the corner and hide, because I can hide. When I want to hide, I know how to hide. I will hide. Okay. In the classroom, I will hide. And I wanted someone who was going to call me on my trying to hide. And you did that. You did that. You did exactly that.
I did.
Exactly. Yes, you did. You did. You scared me. I was like, she's coming for me.
Like still
So yeah,
almost to this day though, you know what I mean? Like I don't have a problem with doing that, but it's one of the things that comes with mentoring, right? Like everybody nowadays is like, I'm a coach this, I'm a coach that, but mentoring for me is really like taking that extra step and being like, hey, let me take you by the hand real quick. Oh no, I see you, girl. I see you over there. Let's come on over here, right? And let's do it this way. And the reason that I believe in that so much is because everybody has talents and gifts, and yours are incredible and amazing. Like even in our one-on-one sessions, you're very welcome. Even in our one-on-one sessions, it's like we talked a lot about what it is that you do, and you were so passionate about it. Like it always came through. And I'm like, Shamika, we gotta get this out here. Like, do you hear yourself? You know what you're talking about. You're super passionate about it. Let's do it. So tell us, like, what happened? How do you feel from starting at the very beginning to where it is that you are now? Like, how much progress do you feel you made? Like, what went into that?
Absolutely. So when I first started the course, at that point, I wasn't coaching anyone. I didn't have anyone on my roster. I wasn't posting on social media. I think the last time I probably had posted on my pages was probably March 2020, because that was right when the pandemic hit and my pageant would have been coming up in May. And that was the year that I decided to walk away from it after 10 years. Because I had that break and that little bit of time to realize that it was costing me more than anything. It was no longer, it was a hobby. It was more a hobby. It was a very expensive hobby. And I didn't have anyone on my roster, but I knew that it was something I was missing, right? I have a 9 to 5, so I work during the day, but that is my love. That is what I love to do. If someone gave me an option to just do, what would you want to do? I would just want to prepare young ladies for life and pageants, because pageants is a big part of you preparing for life. And you know, it's ongoing. When I start, it's ongoing. And I have relationships with girls that I've coached when they were like 14, and now they're like 30 and they're married with children. And they come to me, whether it's for work or they're getting into another pageant, a Mrs. pageant. So like I said, I had no one on my roster, but I knew I wanted to start back, and I didn't know how to get back. I didn't know what I needed to do to get back. So when I signed up for the course, I was a little bit afraid, I have to say, because it's work. You have to put the work in or you're not going to get anything out of it. You got to put the work in. But it wasn't work that wasn't fun, that didn't make me feel good about it every day that I was doing it. And I was looking forward to coming home and getting that done, or closing my work computer and opening my personal computer and getting that work done. And as I started putting out the catchy posts, because at first I was like, what am I writing in a catchy post? And this, not even just me, but like the team, the other members of the group, you know, they're so inspiring, and you see the work that they're putting out, and they're encouraging, and you can ask for their feedback, and they give you their feedback without you even asking, which is awesome. And it just put me on that path. And I just started putting out those posts, and clients started to reach out. Like, you know, it's almost like I woke up, like I woke them up, because they just didn't know I was doing it anymore. Right. And it's like out of sight, out of mind. And I got back in front of those people. And then I started getting women that I've worked with in the past come back. They said, Shiemicka, I didn't know you were doing it. And I didn't want to reach out to you and make you feel that because you've worked with me in the past, you had to do it, even though you probably weren't doing it anymore. So they were like, I was so happy to see that you're back. And then I got, you know, messages from moms that were like, oh, just so you know, my daughter said that she's going to be competing next year as soon as the pandemic clears up and they can welcome them back in person. She's like, you're the only person she wants to coach her, because you've been coaching her since she's 4 and she's now 13. So that to me was like, you know what, that's my zone of genius. What am I doing? Why am I not doing this? I need to get back. And so just being in the course gave me that uplifting feeling that I needed. And those weekly check-ins, more than anything, that is the real deal. Like meeting up on those Zooms with you personally, and you just touching on us and finding out where we are. And that accountability is so important. You know, like when I had to complete the course and at the end I had to answer the checkpoints, I was like, I got to do my homework. My homework has to be done because Dr. Sonia's going to check this. So I have to do my homework. And I think that accountability is everything. And so, you know, even in creating my course, I incorporated that same weekly Zoom, because I think it's just so important to touch on people, on their lives, so that they know that you're connected. Like they're doing the work on their own, but they can check in with you to see if they're on the right track, to get some feedback. And it's not only during the Zooms that you give the feedback, you give the feedback in the group, we can email you, whatever. But it's like being on camera with you and you're just like, hey, what's up? You know, and just your energy makes a person on the other side want to do more. And that's what it was for me. It made me want to always do more, because not only did I want to do it for myself, but I wanted to make you proud, because I felt like, you know what, Dr. Sonia's putting all her energy in me. She believes in me. And when somebody believes in you, you don't want to let them down, right? And I was thinking to myself, I've been doing this for years. What's wrong with me? But that little break that I took for 10 years made the difference. It really like made me feel like, am I supposed to be doing this? Like there's so many other girls doing this. But when you made it clear and you said, you know, you're not going to do it like anybody else does, and you're going to do it the way you do it. And it's so true. And I've also learned that when someone's buying a service, it's not always the service, it's the person behind that service. And you said that, and it's so true. Because the girls that are reaching out to me, it's me that they want. It's me, right? And they believe in me, and they believe that I believe in them, right? They love that connection, and they feel really good about it. Yeah. So that's, you know, that's where I am now. And I just feel really, my computer light, you know, the tech glitches.
See?
My ring light is acting crazy.
That's why we do not focus on tech, right?
Yeah, never focus on tech, because you just know it just does its own thing when it feels like it. So I just feel really good, and just like the course that I'm creating, I feel it's really it's so useful to them, not just for the pageant, but for life in general. And it has such a mindset piece to it, because I think it's so important that when, you know, when girls are competing or doing anything, that they understand that they have to get in that good space, that positive space. And that's what I had to do. I had to get in that positive space. And I tell them all the time, I said, I have a coach too. Yeah. I said, I have a coach too. I said, so, you know, that's one of the things that we don't invest in. These, you know, the young girls that are doing pageants, they'll invest in the gown, they'll invest in the makeup and the hair, but you've got to invest in the coach. Because if you invest in the coach, let me tell you, you will win sooner than you expect, right? You're going to get where you're trying to go sooner. And I realized that being in Create Your Own Course, I am getting to where I wanted to get to sooner. Because if I had sat back and tried to do this on my own, it never would have happened. And maybe it would have happened, but it wouldn't be happening now, right? And I needed that, because I also work at a job that I'm real busy. It could be stressful some days. And this is my getaway. This is like my vacation, believe it or not, because I love it. I love doing it. There is no time that someone won't call me and say, hey, do you have availability? And I'm like, you know what, let me check my calendar. I'm sure I do. Let me fit you in. And it's just like, for me, it's just the energy that I can give, the energy that I get back. So it's great. I'm excited. I can't wait.
I am too. I'm super excited. Like, your energy is very contagious. I love it. And I love that you touched on community. Like, that's super important in everything, no matter what it is that you're doing, especially in business. If you're trying to launch a business or grow a business, you need community. You need people to hold you accountable. You need people to support you, give you feedback, all of those things. And I always tell people, I don't take a lot of credit for our community in CYOC, but then you guys are like, no, you need to take credit because you built it.
You do, because I'm telling you, those weekly Zoom sessions are everything. And I looked forward to, because I would prepare my questions in advance that I would have, or share my happiness, my wins, you know, no matter how small, because every win leads up to something bigger, right? So you have to start somewhere. So for me, that was it. I transitioned from something. I was in a transition stage when I got to Create Your Own Course. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if it was going to be too hard. I remember seeing topic and I was like, topic? Oh my God, what's the topic going to be? And the way you explained it, it just all made sense. And it just came to me. And I just find, for me, the best ideas come in the shower. So yes. I got my topic. That's when it happens. That's like my time alone. Ain't nobody in the house near me. I'm alone. I'm not talking to anybody, but I'm talking to myself, and I'm just coming up with this. And it just feels great. It really feels good. And it just made me say to myself, you know what? Also, you know, there's things that I need to update. Let me work on updating it. And it just helped me also with the tech, because tech is in my jam. You know that. I told you that. But I've gotten so much better. And like I said, one of the pieces were just doing that video, doing that live. My cousin called me. I remember the first day I was getting ready for the live after I spoke to you 2 days before. And you said you have to text me or email me and let me know the date you're doing the live. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, okay. And I did that. I said, okay, this is the day I'm going. I'm doing it. And I emailed you and told you I was doing it. And I already knew when I did that, I had to stick to it. Yeah. So I remember now that I work from home, I don't really wear makeup. So my cousin calls and is like, why do you have makeup on? Where are you going? I said, I'm about to go live. My coach is making me go live. She was like, yay, let me call everybody and tell them to get on. I said, don't do that. Don't do that. She was like, no, I'm doing it. So she said, what time are you going? I said, in about 5 minutes. She hung up. I didn't get on. She called, when are you going on? You need to do this now. And I just went and I just did it. And it was phenomenal. Like, I have to tell you, I have never had that many views ever on Instagram. It was like 188 views. I was like, whoa, this thing was growing. And every day more people were watching it. So I was like, this weekend, it's Mother's Day weekend. I'm going to take time out for me and I'm making my videos because I'm excited.
Right.
So, and that's what you got to do. You got to really push forward and know that your zone of genius is your zone of genius. And it's exactly it. It's yours. Right. So when people want to work, they want to work with you. So
Yes.
that's where I'm at now, feeling confident and comfortable in my skin in that space. And I'm excited. I just can't wait. I have a photo shoot planned for next month so that I can update some of my stuff and start getting back out there the way I was before. So I'm excited. I'm definitely excited.
I'm excited for you. So you are touching on so many points, and I love that you're being so transparent with your journey because people really need to hear that, right? Like, I talk to a lot of people who aren't very confident in their zone of genius, as you put it, and themselves, right? Can I really do this? Is my course really going to sell? Are people actually going to listen to what I have to say? And so talk a little bit about, because you mentioned like you tell your folks, I have a coach too. I'm a believer that a coach needs a coach, a mentor needs a mentor, like a doctor needs a doctor, right? Lawyer
That's
needs
right.
a lawyer, on and on and on. And so it's super important that people know when they're coming into your programs that you have a coach too, you have a mentor too. That means that you're staying ahead of the curve, right? You're making sure that you are learning always 1, 2, 3, 5 steps ahead so that you can reach back and help somebody get to where they're going. Talk a little bit more about, now you are beaming with confidence in your zone of genius. And I have no doubt that even before we met, that you knew, right, deep down, like this was your thing. You enjoyed it. It was your passion. But I remember when we first started the conversation, Shamikas, you said to me, like, are you going to help me find my topic? Are you going to help me figure out what my niche is? Because I don't know it.
You remember that, right? You remember that? Yes. I came like the scary girl.
You did. You're like, all right, I'm going to jump. But like, you got to help me because I don't know.
Yeah, so, you're going to have to tell me how high because I don't know. I don't know.
Yes. So walk us through like week 1, right? When you said, oh my gosh, I went through week 1 T is for topic and boom, I had it. What was that like? Like what, I guess, talk me through like the transition between, because week 1, we go deep into topic. It's like almost immediately you're just jumping right into it. Like when I say jump, I mean like jump, right? We're going.
I was like, oh no, oh my goodness. Yeah.
So walk us through that. Walk us through those feelings of like, did you feel more confident? Like, yes, okay, I am starting to see that I can do this. People probably will listen to what I have to say. Like, walk us through that transition.
Yeah, so I remember the first week I was a little bit scared and I actually went through topic twice. The first time I went through it and I was like, okay, I get it. But then I went through it one more time and then I said, I got it. Now I got it. Like I get it. The first time I was getting it, but the second time I went through, I got it. And it was just a matter of 2 days. Like I took a break away from it and then I went right back in and I said, okay, I see what she's getting at. And it just all made sense. And I knew, it's like I knew what I wanted to teach, but I really had it on a really broad scale. As you would tell me, you have to niche down. And it was like a whole big thing I had going on. I had a whole business plan. You were like, that's not going to happen in this one course. You might have to have another course for that later, but you need the one course first. Start there, right? Figure that out. So when I went in and I came up with the acronym CROWNS, that was for me a great place to go because that just kind of defined the pageant itself. But then for me, I thought outside of the pageant, I said, your crown is your head, right? Your mindset. When you're working with these girls on pageants, it's mindset because they can arrive at a pageant, feel really beautiful, but when they see the other girls, the game changes. Their mindset can change. So that's really what I was looking at. And that's how deep I had to go. But your first week helped me go that deep, you know, watching the video, doing the homework, filling out the material. That's what helped me go that deep. That's how I was figuring out, okay, this is what this is what she's telling me. This is what she's saying. This is what she's talking about. And then when I came up with the acronym, now I had to do the behind the scenes work. And what does this acronym stand for? What is the C going to mean? And I just started thinking about myself, because I was a competitor at one time. You know, what were the troubles that I had? When I competed, there weren't any coaches that were local. So I never had a pageant coach. I never experienced having a pageant coach. And I always said, if I had that, I would have done so much better, not in just the pageant world, but maybe where I am at work today. I would have been there a long time ago, and I would have been out of there by now doing my own thing. So, but you know, our path is our path, and it was meant to be this way, because I was meant to meet you. And if I had done this years ago, I wouldn't have. So, so I, you know, for me, that first week was just diving in, but I went back and I tried it again, because I wanted to make sure it was right. That was important for me also, because I wanted it to be solid. So going through it the first time, and it doesn't take a lot of time from you, right? The way you set this up, it's like click, it clicks, it clicks. So I was able to just take a break one day, and then the second day I just went right back in it. And I said, I know exactly what the topic is going to be. I know what I want to work with people on. I know what I'm good at. And I know what people will appreciate from me. Because sometimes they want to compete. It's expensive, but maybe the people in their household are not on board. So it could be very discouraging for someone who, let's say, has competed 2 or 3 times and they haven't done well. And now they're finally going to enlist the coach, but their parents are thinking, I don't know why you're doing that, because you've never done well before. You're just going to throw your money away. Well, I have to prove them wrong at that point when I hear stuff like that. So I have to work 20 times harder. So I had to make sure that that topic was solid, and the behind the scenes work was going to be solid, because, you know, that's another thing. And going through the course, I realized, because I think I was trying to build like a mountain at one point. I was like, these people are going to be like, she's giving me way too much information. This is like overwhelmed. So I niched it down, and I know exactly what they need to really feel good and feel accomplished, and take that material and go on to the next level of whatever it is that they're doing, whether it's I'm going to my job and I'm going to ask for a raise because now I know my mindset is right, my interview skills are good, or I'm going to compete in this pageant and I know I have the skill set to go and hold down this interview the way I need to. So
yes, I love all of that. I love all of that. And so I also love the fact that you were not afraid to go back to Tia's for Top. Like, you weren't afraid to revisit the content. That's super important, because a lot of people are rushing through courses. And again, this is what happens. Like, I always talk about building the foundations on solid ground. Like, you cannot, if you don't build your foundation the right way, whenever you try to put something on top of it, it's like building a house. If you try to stack things on top, it's going to come crashing down. Building a business from just one online course, it's absolutely possible. You absolutely can do that, and you should.
Absolutely.
I built my business on one course, and it is amazing. We've grown to multiple 6 figures, and so closing in on 7. So I'm super excited by the end of the year.
Awesome. Yes.
Thank you. And so it's one of those things, though. Like, if you don't start it right, when you go to add more stuff like Facebook ads, you know, all sorts of like interviews, all sorts of other stuff, if you want to incorporate additional training for your peeps in your seats, you know, when you go to add that stuff, it's going to come crashing down if the foundation isn't right. And so I appreciate the fact that you did not rush this process. You took your time. You made sure you understood the concepts. You did all of the activities. And I tell people that all the time. If you skip a step, important. Number one, I'm gonna know that you skipped a step.
Yep. And the only person that's going to pay is you.
That's
if you
right.
skip a step, the only person that's going to pay is you, because eventually you will have to go back. You will have to go back, because as you said, the way the course is set up, it really builds. It really builds. And when I got to the end, I was just like, this all made so much sense. When I looked at my notebook, it was just so like mapped out so well. And I just saw how solid of a framework that I had at that point, because that's really what you want. You have to have solid framework, right? And then you can just build on that and build on that and build and build and build. But if it's not solid, it will fall apart. It will fall apart, because there'll be, and one of the things I found too is as I'm going along, I am finding areas that I'm tightening even more sometimes. And that's so important, because that's what you need. You need the framework, and then you will go back and you will look at it and see areas that you need to tighten, things you might pull out, and you might just add a couple of lines here. But you have got that solid framework. So you're not changing the brains of it all. The brain remains the same, right? You're just changing the little bit of the bits and pieces and things. So for me, that's, you know, pretty much where I am. And I'm excited. Like I said, I feel real confident about it. And even though I didn't stay with the crown's topic, the topic is still within that framework. I just pulled it from the back end. That's all I
Yeah.
did. I just pulled it from the back end. And I never thought that that would have been possible. But because I followed topic exactly the way you said to do it, it panned out just well. And I have to say, people, I am not somebody who's detailed. I just like things to be done easy. I like everybody to do things for me if they can. Like, you know what? If you could just figure that all out and just let me teach, that would be great. But I feel so much better about myself that I'm building it, that I created it. I know exactly what's in it.
Yeah.
That's what's important, right? Because now I don't need, like, yeah, I have the slides and I'll throw them up on the screen, but I know it all. It's all in my head. So, and for me, like I said, I needed to feel worthy, and you helped me feel worthy back about me being back in this space. And you know, and it's a very competitive space, right? So it's easy to fall out. But I started thinking, when you would say, like, when we had that Zoom, that one-on-one for that hour, you were just like, Shiemicka, what's going on? Like, look at this, you're amazing. Like, it just reminded me, like, of all the amazing things and all the girls that I've worked with over time and how I've changed so many lives. And I was like, why can't I continue? What am I waiting for? And that was it. That's what gave me the energy and the, you know, the boss moves to do that. It was
Yeah.
talking to you. So I do
love
owe
it.
that to you, and I appreciate that.
Aw.
And like I said, it was one of the best decisions I made during COVID, when I was investing and figuring out, what do I want to do? You know, I'm working from home. I have all this downtime because I'm not traveling to drop my son at school. I'm not traveling to work, pick him back up, drive back home. All that travel time has gone away. So that 2-3 hours that was happening when there was traffic, now I'm home. So what am I going to do with that time? And I feel like, you know, it was the best investment that I could have ever made.
That makes me so happy to hear. I got like all goosebumps and butterflies.
It's awesome. It's awesome. It's, you know, it's
you.
all truth. And if you want to, you know, if you want to create a course and you want your course to be successful, you just have to follow the plan.
Yes.
It's all laid out for you. You just have to follow it. You know, it's not like you have to figure it out along the way. You don't. It is so mapped out so well. Even the tech that I hated, I was like, oh, Calendly, I know how to do that. I went in and I was able to set that up, all of that. So like having all of that's just been amazing. And then also putting boundaries now too. You know, I learned boundaries while being in there because, you know, I work with different programs, and like I also produce a pageant for an organization once a year. So just knowing boundaries, like, these are my hours. Outside of those hours, you're not going to hear from me. You'll hear from me when I'm open again. And
That's
before,
right.
when I was one-on-one, Dr. Sonia, I had people calling me at 2 in the morning, 11 at night. Like, that's not okay, right?
No.
And I was trading so much time for money doing that because I was exhausted. Like, I wouldn't get sleep because if I got a call at 11, it's on my brain that I have to do this in the morning. But now, if I know that I got it at 5, I'm not going to look at it until the following day at 9. That's just not, I'm just not going to do it. So, you know, it helped me set boundaries that needed to happen.
That makes me so happy to hear. So talk to the people about, I guess this would be like one of the last questions, because the other question I get all the time, Shiemicka, is how do I get started? Where do I get started? Like, talk about the decision that you made to join CYOC, but also like, what would be your answer to someone who said, where do I start? Where do I start creating a course? How do I get started?
I would just definitely say, like, you know, contact Dr. Sonia. Like, it's facts. Like, that's the reality of it all, you know, because the reality is, you know, we spend our money on things that we want, right? But sometimes we don't spend it on what we need, right? And for me, I knew that I needed to do this because I wanted to get someplace sooner. Could I have probably figured this out on my own? Oh yeah, if I want to spend 1.5 years doing it and keep putting it to the side, because that's what you're going to do. You're going to start creating something if you're doing it on your own, and then you're going to push it to the side when something else pops up. But if you're in the course and you're paying attention and you have accountability, you're going to get it done. And when it's done, you're going to roll it out. You're going to roll it out. You're going to get it done. And although, like I said, I have not rolled out yet, but because I'm getting sidetracked with business, like I'm getting sidetracked with business. So I'm making money. I'm still making money. I'm still doing what I'm supposed to do. And at the same time, I'm still promoting my course. And like I said, like, you know, that when we created our personas and we worked on who our ideal customers were, that's when I realized that the current customers I had are no longer my ideal customers because they're not going to pay that high ticket. So now I needed to get those catchy posts out there, start using those hashtags, and start getting the new people on board. And that's what's happening now. Now I'm start getting the new people, like even the woman that I did her resume, she was like, and now I'm going to sign. I want to work on being in your course. She's like, I just want to land a new job. I'm working on that now. But it's just the fact that the thought that somebody wants to do it. And once you land that one customer, it just starts going from there. I know that for a fact, like, because that's what happened to me when I started years ago with the one-on-one. I was probably 17 years old. I didn't know what I was doing, trying to start a business, right? And I just said, this is what I love doing. And I found that I was able to coach a girl to win quicker than I was able to help myself win. And that's what I wanted to do. And I had someone write me a testimonial the other day, and she said, Shiemicka is awesome. She said each time I compete in the pageant, I found my win. It didn't always have to be the crown. I found my win because she pushed me to keep finding my wins. And that just made me feel so good, because I remember she's 30 something now, but I remember when she was 13 and she lived in Pennsylvania and took the buses all the way and traveled through 3 cities to get to me in Westchester County. And I kept saying to her, are you sure you know how to do this? She said, yes, I'm coming to meet you. And she had found me online, and she came down, and to this day, she calls me coach. Whenever the phone rings, if I answer it and she says, coach, I know exactly who's calling. She doesn't have to say her name. So, that's all I can say is, if this is something that you want to do and you want to get there, the investment is worth every penny of it, right? Because none of it's going to go to waste, because you're going to make it right back. I've already made it back just in my one-on-ones and like writing, having someone do a resume in just like a matter of a couple of weeks. It's easy. It's an easy yes. For me, it was an easy yes. And you have to put yourself first, because a lot of times we'll do things for other people. Someone asks you to borrow that money, you'll go loan it, but you won't pay to invest in yourself. You got to pay to invest in yourself. And for me, that was the best investment I could have ever made. And that's why I promote having a coach so important, because they're going to help you reach that goal that you need to do. Like even my son plays basketball. I make sure that he has a one-on-one basketball coach that's going to be starting back up this month. Because if you want something, I've taught him that you have to invest in it, right? You have to give the time. You can't just slide by. It's never going to work for you. It may work for a short time, but I guarantee you're not going to get where you're trying to go. So if you want to make 7 figures, you're not going to make it there by trying to slide by. You have to have that foundation. Yeah. It's the bottom line. That's really right. It's a fact. It's a fact. And, I have a girlfriend who I told her about the course because she's a homeschool. She homeschools, and she's like, I'm going to sign up for that course because I said, you are such a great homeschool teacher. You could really teach other parents how to do this and do it right without all the kinks and the turns that you made years ago when you first started. Because now you know how to navigate the whole system, and people want to know how to get where they're trying to go quicker. That's what it's about now, just getting where you're trying to go quicker. But you have to have that solid foundation, because if you don't, getting there quicker is just going to crumble. So you have to get yourself a coach, somebody who's going to believe in you just as much or even more than you believe in yourself. Because we can come into this sometimes not believing in ourselves as much as we need to. And we might need that little extra push. And Dr. Sonia is there to give it to you, because she'll say, you're going to go live.
That's right.
You want to go live. You're going live. And I'm like, why? Why do I have to go live? It's the best thing I did. Like I said, I got so much business just from going live that one time. I only did it one time, and I'm trying to catch up on the work that I got from that business. That one time going live, all the business that I got, I'm trying to catch up on it and get it done. So it's well worth it. It's beyond worth it. I don't even know what else to say. I mean, if I had to do it again, I would do it again without question.
I love it. Yeah. Thank you. See, guys,
absolutely.
And that's the thing. I said go live for this reason, right? Look at you. I'm over here like a bobblehead.
Yep. And then I see you going live all the time, and just being comfortable. And after I did it that one time, I was like, it wasn't so scary. What's wrong with me? Right? What's wrong with me? And, just getting the light, I was like, oh no, the light. I found the perfect place now in my house where I do the lives. I do the lives in my office space, as opposed to at other tables in the house or other places, because I want the lighting to be right. So I think once you just practice and find that space, and like I said, I do videos. Sometimes I do videos in advance on different topics, and just change my top, flip tops, change tops, right? Because I'm not putting on makeup every day now, right? So I just flip tops and just go through, different topics and share. And I think people want that information. No matter what it is that you teach, it's something that someone in this world needs. Somewhere, somehow, someone needs it. And the videos are amazing because you can connect with someone in a video like nobody's business. You can just know from that video whether or not that's a person you want to work with, right? And I say this to say, like, I remember not just recently, somebody said that they were going to show up live, and I logged in to go see them live. And I was like, okay, it's 8 o'clock. Where they at? Never showed up. I was like, so you can't, and then so if you say you're going to go live, you got to go live. You can't not show up. Even if you're just going to show up for 10 minutes, you got to show up 5 minutes, whatever it is. You just have to show up, and your customers want you to show up for them, right? How else are they going to find you if you don't show up?
Exactly. Because
they can't find you.
While you're not showing up, somebody else is.
Somebody else is. That's right. Somebody
yes.
else is grabbing all your customers, and just because you was scaredy cat, scared to show up, like I was scaredy cat. And then when I showed up, I just randomly got a message. Someone just wrote and said, you're going to hear from me in a couple of weeks. And I took it very lightly. I didn't pay it any attention. And you better believe it, out of nowhere, I got a text at 4 something that like a few weeks later. And it was like, are you available to talk anytime this week? And I was like, sure. I gave a time, scheduled that, and we talked, and that was it. So you just never know. But again, if you're not in the place to be, nobody's going to know you. So you have to show up in order for people to know who you are and what you do.
That's right. And the confidence comes from having a coach, having a mentor, having someone who's going to push you outside of your comfort zone, outside of your box, and that's been important in my business too. Like, there's no way, that I would have, now, yes, like you said, would I have been able to grow to multiple 6 figures, closing in on 7 by myself? Yes. But guess how long it would have taken me?
That's right.
So it's one of those things where having coaches and surrounding myself with mentors and people who are in the places that I want to be in, that's the key, right? Because the brain doesn't know the difference. Your brain, the people you hang around, the places that you frequent, your brain literally does not know the difference. It's either you're hanging with the people and hanging around the places that are going to hold you back and keep you stagnant, or you hang around the people and the places who are, I'm talking people who expect success and nothing less. People who, for them, they've normalized success. Those are the people that you want to be around. People who are like, oh yeah, I made a few grand today. I made 10 grand today.
Absolutely. Because I love it. When I hear people saying I did a 10K week, I'm like, I need you to be my friend.
Yeah.
Those are the friends that I want to keep, right? That's
right.
The circle I want to be in, because you want to be in that circle of motivation, right? If you're in a circle that's not a circle of motivation, then guess what? You're just going to be sitting on the side and you're not going to push yourself, right? And for me, even though my course hasn't launched, I work on it every day. Every day I'm working on the slides. I'm working on a piece of it, creating video, just getting it really ready to go.
Yes. I'm so happy that this was a pleasurable process for you, that it's been a fun journey.
Yes.
I try to make it that way. So with the rebranding and repackaging, we're adding in some additional things. You are a lifetime member, family member. Girlfriend.
Yes.
We love you. I love you. And so you will, of course, have access to everything. But is there any last thing that you want to tell the people? Any last piece of advice that you want to give to folks?
I would just definitely say, you know what, if a course is what you want to create, start making that move now. Don't wait, because the longer you wait, the longer it takes. The longer it takes to get started. You'll be so surprised if you just sign up, do the work, and put the course out there. You'll start making that money, and you could change your lifestyle, right? If you're working at a 9 to 5 and you find that that's not where you want to be anymore, don't procrastinate. Start getting the work in so you can start making that money, and you can start getting your mindset right to make that move when the time is right? The longer you wait, the longer you're going to put. And I found myself, I'm a perfect example. I put so much energy into my work, my 9 to 5. And that's when I made that transition. By the end of this course, I was like, I got to focus on me. This is about me. I have to better myself, get myself together. Well, I'm going to be working until I'm going there with a cane. I want to be able to just be sitting at home, have something on repeat. I want to hear my phone click and I look at it and there's a payment that dropped in. That's what I'm talking about. So I would definitely say, if you want to jump, you got to jump first and jump now. Don't wait. It's important to do it for yourself, and not for anybody else. Just do it for yourself. If you want to create a course and you're not even sure about what that course is going to be on, once you sign up, it will become so clear. It will become so clear once you get into that first week. Whatever, you might have 15 things, or you might have nothing to say. I don't know. I can teach a course. You get in there, you will see, you will start to do that work, that mindset work, and you're going to find what you're really good at. Because you're going to start thinking about what your friend always said, oh, she's great at this. She's so good at this. Your family member said, she's great at this. and things that you can create a course in that you never thought. You'd be amazed. You'd be amazed at what you can create a course in and what people want. Because everybody, they say there's someone for everyone. Well, there's a course for everybody. It's the same thing, right? There's a course for everybody. Yes. For real, there's a course. So, you know, you just have to sign up and just do it. Because I know when I thought about it, I was like, who's going to pay for a pageant coach? A ton of people will. Yeah. A ton of people. Pageants aren't going anywhere. It's a huge investment. It's big business. It's a big business. It really is a big business. And right now, I know in a couple of weeks, Miss Universe is going to go live. And then I'm going to start getting people in my inbox because they're going to get that pageant mindset again. That's what happens. It wakes people up right away when they see a pageant. I want to try that.
I'm so excited
and that's
for you.
It.
I'm excited. So I'm super proud of your success. In case people want to come check you out, where can they find you?
They can find me at coaching@ShamikaLaShawn.com.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love it. I'm super excited. I'll drop it wherever I post or have this video.
Perfect.
I'll link your website as well. I appreciate you, Shamika.
Thank you, Dr. Sonia. I appreciate you too.
You are very welcome. I love you, girl.
Love you too.